everyone. So what you see in front of you, that's the Lyft light. Just, couldn't sleep, had some insomnia. Got out here to pick up a few rides. So this title is called Lyft Catfish. So I picked up a young gentleman about 30 minutes ago to drop him off at a place here in San Diego. It's called Chula Vista. Now this is Chula Vista is going toward the Mexico international border. Now what happened was the person who requested the ride was a lady, but when the person entered my car, it was not a lady who entered the car. It was a young gentleman, 20 years old, to meet a lady. So when we got to the destination, which was a 15-mile ride one way, the young gentleman says, well, I never met this person. Can you wait with me? Because I'm a little scared. And when I looked at the guy, he said he was 20, but he looks like, my son age. And matter of fact, they had the same kind of curly hair coming off the top, but he had his hoodie on. This is 2:30 in the morning, Chula Vista gated community. This young guy is in a different part of town with a hoodie on, and it's 2:30 in the morning, and for whatever reason people look suspicious at that time of morning. Of course you shouldn't, but it's a gated community, someone's just lurking around, and a hoodie just standing around. So the person who sent the ride request asked me to turn off my app in the ride, but the guy says he has fear. So until that person came out to meet with them, I wasn't comfortable with just leaving that person there stranded. But of course, I drive for a fee, so I couldn't just turn it off. Once the guy was able to meet the person, and now that person, those two people met online through Instagram. So my question to that young man was, have you ever saw the person before or video chat with him? He says no. I said, well, have you heard of the term catfish? He said he's familiar with the term. I said, let me see the photos of the person that you're communicating with. So he showed me the photos of who he's been chatting with via Instagram. Now these are like some stock photos of a beautiful lady, a young lady, who is in some lingerie. One photo has swimwear. There's never a photo of that person out with friends in the San Diego area. If you're a person that's in San Diego, maybe your Instagram is, show you what you're doing. But, this person's like on exotic beaches. And I said, I told the young man, I said, that's not the person, because if you look at this image versus that image, these are two different people. They had two different noses. One's body, looks a little bit more leaner than the other. Of course, people gain weight, but it wasn't the same. It wasn't the same person, but he didn't see that. I think he was thinking more about sex, because all the photos that he showed me was sexy images of a young lady who was not dressed with all the clothing. It was more in lingerie and bathing suits. So the person who requested the ride, the lady, if that's who it really was, kept sending text messages saying to end the ride. I said, yeah, well, your passengers asked me to wait while you show up. And then that person says, well, tell him to answer his phone. And the passenger says, my phone doesn't work outside of my house because I use my Wi-Fi in the house. And outside of the house, my phone don't work because I have no phone service. I explained, I text that person with the ride request that. He says, well, I didn't know that. So asked me, the Lyft driver, to take him over to Starbucks so he can get Wi-Fi. I said, I'm not doing that. You need to come out and meet your passenger so I can leave. And they said, well, we're going to call Lyft and you're going to, whatever, that's fine. But when you're calling Lyft, the passenger who's requesting a ride is supposed to be the person that enters your vehicle for safety purposes. Because if the passenger that she requests attack me, how do I complain and say this is the person? Because it's not the person. So when you have a ride request with Lyft, you are supposed to be the passenger. And if you're a cat, this is a term catfish, where the young man, I looked in his eyes and he had a lot of fear because he had some unknown, like, I'm scared, like, I don't want to stay here. I was like, okay, I'll take you back to where I picked you up. So that 15-mile ride turned into a 30-mile ride charged to the person with the ride request. And not because I'm not understanding. I'm understanding you're trying not to spend money for, they asked me to turn off the person who sent the ride request asked me to turn off my app. But I said I can't, because the ride is not over until that person feels comfortable, or if I have to take them back, it's going to be charged to you, the person who's sending the ride request. So if you're one of these people who are catfishing and you're sending over a young man and you show some photos, well, hopefully that's you, because I told him I don't think it doesn't sound safe, because I said, you gotta understand, that is a beautiful girl. You think she's gonna make some strange guy she never seen at 2:30 in the morning? I said, it doesn't sound like it's that person's requested. It could be somebody else. And they're telling you to go to this bridge, and they didn't show up. They're waiting for me to leave. So for safety purposes, I couldn't leave him there. And he was definitely thankful when I dropped him back off at his home. So just for safety purposes, if you guys are online dating and all these things, FaceTime the person, video chat with them, see their faces, so they know who you are and you know who they are. So when you guys are in person in each other's face, you know how to identify them. If I left that young man at that bridge, and then the next day, news, it could have been a tragic scene, and I didn't want to be a part of that, because that young man is inexperienced in life. This is a new thing for him. I guess it's online dating. He saw a very attractive young lady, and I tell you like this: if I was being propositioned by a young lady that looks like that one in the photos, I'd have jumped in a Lyft as well. And that person's paying for it, all day. But also, just gotta be safe. Thank you for tuning in.